Now we'll go to status update. Fire District 2 and 5. Cheryl Ham, Fire Chief.
Good morning. I'm Cheryl Ham. I'm the District Chief with Torrance County Fire Districts 2 and 5. I want to thank you for recognizing. We have a few people here today also that I'd like to recognize because they're the ones that actually allow us to do our jobs. We don't have a lot of people here because as volunteers, everybody has to work. So on top of the volunteering, a lot of our guys are at work today. But I'd like to recognize the friends and the families of, the children. They're the ones who make a sacrifice. They give up their holidays, their nights, their family time, milestones. Also, we can go out and volunteer. So I'd like to, we got a few kids here that were grateful enough to get out of school for the day. So I'd like to say thank you to all our friends and our families and our children. I'm just going to read this through, if that's okay. It's not as bad as it looks. It's large.
No, go ahead.
Okay. First, a little stats from January 1st, 2012 until February 9th, which was Monday. A little over 3 years. The Torrance County Fire Department, all 5 districts, has been dispatched 5,432 times. That averages out to about 5 calls a day. These calls range from anywhere to getting a bird out of an attic to the structure fires and the hazmat, and we take care of just about anything we get called for. It also brings a lot of anxiety and a lot of loss. Aside from the job we do, we also have to deal with the feelings. When we're out there on the scene, we see the faces of these people who have lost tremendous loss, and we take that home with us. People who've lost children, we try and comfort them, but then we have to deal with not being able to save them. And when we talk about taking our work home with us, we don't just go, we don't just volunteer, we don't just put out a fire. We take all this pain home with us, and that's what we take home from the office. So it's not just about getting up and going out and responding to calls. It's a heavy weight, and every one of us at some point or another has told ourselves, why do we do this? We can't do this anymore. I can't deal with this. And then the tones drop, and we're right back there, and we're doing our job. And we're all volunteers. We don't have, and there's only about, when it comes to volunteers, in the county, based on 5,432 calls, we only have about 40 responders countywide, excluding municipalities, that actually respond on a regular basis. So what that comes out to is 5,432 calls, 1,135 days for that many calls, and 40 firefighters that have pretty much responded to those. And that's also a huge burden. I've been with Torrance County for almost 12 years. I've witnessed many changes within the department. For the longest time, we didn't have a lot of support. And honestly, I hope to never hear, the statement that they're just firefighters. If they don't like it, they can quit. We deserve a lot more respect than that. But changes started happening when Ms. Ansley was hired as county manager, and Jason Trumbull, who's now the county chief, or at the time was fire marshal. We finally had the support and the voice we needed locally. And in the last 8 years, we've overcome a lot of challenges, and we've evolved into a professionally equipped and trained fire and rescue entity. In 2009, a commissioner took office, and with what can only be described as a very personal political agenda, proceeded to tear this county apart. Allegations of fraud, mismanagement, political maneuvering fueled by intentionally orchestrated media firestorm led to criminal charges being filed against the county manager and a contractor. Lines were drawn, friends turned on friends, and progress in Torrance County came to an abrupt halt. We didn't escape it either at the department. We got caught up in a lot of, we had 2 former members who attempted to use the media to push forward their agenda, and at the time it was to get me removed. And I'd like to just, while I'm talking about that, for anybody who reads the paper or listens to the news and you think that's the absolute gospel, and it's true, these 2 people went to the Telegraph, Mountain View Telegraph, and made a lot of allegations against me. The reporter called me one morning and said, asked me to respond. I asked him, for specifics, and he refused, so I just let him go on. I referred him on to my supervisor. And the article came out, and it was pretty much word for word every allegation that these other members had taken. One of them was that I had left a kid alone on a fire scene up in the mountains, and he ended up having a medical emergency and having to be flown out. I talked to the reporter after it came out, so I knew what to address. And I gave him the facts of that one call right this time, is that the kid was 27 years old, yet it was reported he was 18. He was not left alone on his fire scene. There was another officer from my department who's no longer there, and one of the people behind the article, that took his partner, left the scene without proper authorization. The only thing I had to do at that scene was taking food up from my restaurant, because I'm also a vendor. When I got up there and found out his situation, I had him released immediately, and I was following him down the mountain when he had the emergency. He's okay, he's still with the department. I went back to the reporter, I sat down, I disputed this, and nothing was ever said. There was no follow-up report, so just a little word of caution if you want to put all your faith in the media and believe everything that's written. All right, back to this. Okay, and all these people that have caused trouble, they're no longer here. But they left us with their fallout. And we continue in the department to move forward, to face the challenges, and with the support and commitment from the county manager and, of course, Chief Trumbull, we have turned our department around a lot. On January 31st of this year, Commissioner Ducharme, addressed our monthly business meeting. We encourage and appreciate all public and official attendance at our meetings. And on this occasion, Commissioner Ducharme informed the attendees that the 40% tax that was on the November ballot had not passed, and the fire admin hierarchy had made promises they could not keep, and we would not be getting any money for recruiting or stipends. This statement, intended or not, is a disrespectful attack on each of us. As a sitting commissioner, even though it has only been a little over a month, you should be aware of the status of tax monies that you have been entrusted to oversee. As first responders, we put our lives in each other's hands, and uninformed comments that cast doubt on the leader's integrity and motives puts us all at risk. I have the honor of working every day with honorable, dedicated individuals who serve without reservation and without prejudice. I do not speak for the Sheriff's Department, but in my daily interactions with them as responders, I can state with certainty that they also serve with the highest level of dedication and integrity. The intent behind the tax was to free up monies from the general fund to assist both the sheriff's and fire departments with recruiting and retention. A lot of work went into formulating this plan, including bringing in an outside consultant for the fire department. It was put to the voters and approved, and your attempts to politicize and derail this initiative is a disservice to the members, and if you are successful, not only places responders at greater risk, but also the community in general, as we would continue to lose members and just put us all at risk. And I want to be absolutely clear to everyone, this is not about money. There's not a single individual that volunteers with the expectation of pay. You know, I currently have two members that are going to the Fire Academy in Socorro. That's 2 weeks of their own vacation time. And they're having to pay their own way because even though they got all their prereqs for the actual course, they could not get, they were new to the department and they did not have a scheduled defensive driving class to get them in time. And even though they weren't taking their, even though they're taking their personal vehicles, they weren't eligible for per diem. But they wanted that training, and because of their willingness to pay for their own training, their own stay for 2 weeks, at the end of the week, we should have 2 more certified firefighter ones. And I want this on record that I believe I have evidence, there's enough evidence to ask the commission to look into Ms. Ducharme. I believe, Commissioner Ducharme, I believe she has a conflict of interest with the fire department and 2 of its top leaders that I would like to address in closed session because it does involve a personnel matter. I'm also requesting that while the full commission and the county attorney address my concerns, that any inquiries Commissioner Ducharme has with respect to our department be deferred until this matter resolved. And I have one final question for the commission. With respect, what kind of commission are you going to be? The last time a commissioner took office and started insisting on single-minded correspondence with state agencies, we were left with 5 bitter years of infighting, individuals and businesses fighting for their reputation, livelihood, and basic survival. So are we to expect 4 more years of individual targeting with a politically charged agenda, with no remorse for the negative impacts on the individuals, the businesses, the vendors, or the community that get caught in these feuds? Are we going to continue being on the nightly news, discouraging family and business growth, and turning us into what I would refer to as the New Mexico Dust Bowl? Or are you going to be able to find common ground, work together, restore the trust from the citizens of this community, of this county, help us all move forward, address the economic problems that we are facing, bring jobs back to the county, work on solutions to keep our kids from having to leave the valley so we can have a larger pool of volunteers to recruit from. Keeping the legacy of agriculture in this valley viable and sustainable. And more to the reason I am here, honoring all of these people that give so much to themselves to protect you, your families, and everything you have personally worked hard to build. As you decide which direction this commission is going to take, I ask you to look around this room and remember every face of every responder and family member here today, counting on you for your support, to do what is in the best interest of every citizen of this county. And I appreciate, Commissioner Ducharme, that your words and your offer of recognition. I wish your actions matched your words. We're all obligated to fulfill our duties to this county and act in the best interest of everyone.
Nice to see it sometimes.
But whatever this direction this commission takes in the next 4 years, we will be here, fulfilling our obligations because we got this. Any questions?
Sure, I have a question. Cheryl, I have a question right here.
Oh, sorry.
I'm per diem. I'm really not happy with that our firemen have to go to training and pay for their own stuff. How can we correct to get per diem or travel for the fire volunteers? Would the fire fund provide per diem for people?
We provide the per diems. That's not the issue.
Okay,
The issue
I
is...
misunderstood then that.
Oh, no. The problem is to be eligible for per diem, we have our own emergency vehicle course for driving that we have to go through. And the county, and I believe it's the whole county statewide, I'm not sure, requires also that anybody getting per diem has to have also defensive driving. The county has been pretty good about, having a nice schedule of defensive driving. I think they have one almost every month, but these members were new. We could not get them in. We did attempt to get a class going. We could not get them in time to make this class, which they really wanted to attend.
Okay, is there a way that after they get their defensive driving that we can actually reimburse for that travel? Is there a problem with legal of doing that?
Let me consider that.
Because I don't think that's fair. I mean, if they're new and the classes are only given at certain times, we need to correct that. I mean, that's not fair for the people that are becoming our volunteers to start off with, and then have to come and pay to travel and room for training, which is beneficial to the county. And to me, that's not. I think we can figure out a way to reimburse for that, and if we can't, we might ourselves chip in and give them that money too. I'd be willing to chip in and give them that money so that they can continue to be volunteers, because volunteering is one of the most important things in this whole country. And these people are doing it because they love their community and they want to be part of their community. And there's no greater gift that we, the county, can receive if not from our volunteers. But let's work that out. We'll work on that.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question first to the county manager's office because I was told that I can, even I don't have defensive driving, I still can take a vehicle to Santa Fe or to another place. Could you please clarify that?
Annette?
Commissioner Annette Ortiz, Deputy County Manager. The per diem policy actually states you have 6 months as a new employee to take the defensive driving course, but you are still eligible for per diem once you take within the first 6 months.
Does it apply to firefighters?
I'm not entirely sure how long it
They came in December.
so we do have a 6-month grace period.
So I'm clear on that, Ms. Ham. I had understood that you were talking about a firefighter rule or maybe one of your rules or regulations as far as reimbursing the per diem out of your funding.
No, sir, it's the county's.
Okay, good. Then to answer your question, Mr. Candelaria, I don't think we have a problem at all.
Good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Jim?
I would just like to tell Cheryl that we do appreciate all the fire department does, and of your concern and your dedication. And I'm with Leroy on that to help with the per diem training.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Ham, were you at that meeting I attended on January 31st?
No, ma'am, I was not.
Then what gives you a right to comment what happened at that meeting?
I think this is
No,
out of
no,
order.
Ms. Ham brought allegations against me,
didn't
and
really
I want
I
the
think this should be
explanation.
discussed on
I
executive
want
session.
No, she brought it on an open session. It should be,
Okay.
if it is
Dennis,
about me,
Hold on.
it should be on an open
Please.
session.
Just leave that.
I don't think this is a personnel action. It should be
Okay.
closed. So I think
All right.
if Ms. Ham wants to respond, she certainly can.
Okay, the personnel matter that I'm referring to involving, that I believe is creating a conflict of interest, has to do with one of her family members,
Okay.
which I don't want to,
Yeah, I don't want to talk about a personnel issue.
Gotcha.
I thought that the question to you was,
What gave me the right?
What gave you the right to comment
Okay.
with regard to her comments at the meeting?
What gave me the right was these people. They came to me, they were very upset, and they came to me, and we decided to address it here. Because the last meeting you and I were at together was either October or November. Well, it had to be October because it was prior to the election, and you know, you were allowed to speak, and there's nothing, you know, we appreciate that, we appreciate anybody's interest. But at the time, you said you were very adamantly opposed to the tax. And the issue wasn't you coming to the meeting, it was coming to the meeting and telling these people that we were lying to them, you know, the fire admin hierarchy, because because the tax did not pass, and you were basing yours on information from December 9th. So when they came to me, and I've since found out that, of course, it did pass, and we're still going ahead, but I just, you know, it's, and until that is resolved.
Can you say exactly what I'm doing, what kind of actions you see inappropriate? Can you specify what did I do wrong?
Well, that night, okay, after that night, you went home, and then you came back at 10 o'clock and confronted another firefighter there who had no idea what was going on or anything like that. You know, and just, I've been paying attention, and you have been looking into other departments and learning how things work and this and that, but you have especially scrutinized the fire department, even down to asking why we have to pay for oxygen.
It's our job as a commissioner, for Christ's
Why we
sakes.
have to carry oxygen, and little things like that. And I just want to make sure this matter is resolved before it goes any further or anything comes up that's going to cause any type of further conflict.
Does scrutiny bother you?
Not at all.
If I have to put my signature, I have to know why what I signed.
I believe strongly in fiscal responsibility. I believe, you know, and we're open to the scrutiny. I just think because you have scrutinized our department, our vendors, which I am also one, so much more in depth than you have any other department.
How do you know? How can you know how in depth I scrutinize other departments? How can you state that?
Because I keep informed.
Where are you getting your information from?
I want to show you, and please tell all other people what you see here. Could you please read this?
Okay, which part?
This right.
Okay, this was from November 4th. The results for the general election, November 4th, the unofficial results that were taken during that day.
Okay, could you please...
December 9th.
Yes. Could you please read this title and describe what...
Which one?
This,
The gross receipts?
yes. The whole thing. Could you please read the whole title here?
Sure.
Please.
Torrance County Capital Outlay Gross Receipts Tax Question.
Okay, and what is the result here?
4 was $13.55 and against was $17.95. So yes, on this day, before the election was certified, it's showing an unofficial result, which as a city commissioner, when you were sworn in, you should have been updated. And I don't want to get into an argument here, but it's my belief, since you were so adamantly opposed to it, that you would be current on it, because those are monies that you're fiscally responsible for also.
I checked at the beginning of January, this result, and this result was still there. And if Ms. Hermia is present here, please, maybe you have some information on this, what happened.
Madam Young, Torrance County Clerk. So was that the result on the website? Is that what? Yes. I failed to take it off the website. We canvassed 3 days after the election with the commissioners. We went through all the results then and made it official then. If it was on the website, it was a mistake on election night, but it's always unofficial. Mistakes are made election night. Precinct workers have worked from 6 o'clock in the morning till 10 at night, myself included, my staff included. When we entered those numbers, they could have come out wrong. I should have taken it off the website, but that in no way takes away from the question you passed. Commissioner certified those results. Secretary of State certified those results. So it was a mistake, but could you have called me and asked?
Okay, I didn't go to the monthly firefighter meeting to talk about this tax. I didn't plan to mention it at all. I was asked.
You know what? You gotta stop there, because I don't know any of this that's going on. You're questioning my integrity right now.
No, not at all. Why are you saying that? I'm just asking if you know what happened.
No, because I don't get involved in all of this. I don't. I do my job as a clerk, run elections, and I run them well. There's a few mistakes made, but I don't get involved in all of this. I really don't. I stick to my job, my office, and all of this going on does not really concern me, except the fact that you went and said that the tax didn't pass. I ran that election, Julia, Ms. Commissioner Duchan. I ran that election. It did pass.
So you are saying that what is on this state website, you don't have to believe?
Can I see it? Unofficial results, election night. You know how many unofficial results do not correspond with provisional voting, absentee, all of these come together on election night. Of course, there's going to be mistakes made on the website. That's why it's unofficial.
Ms. Hermia, please look. I made this copy on December 9th.
So this is Diana Duran's website, not mine. Okay, and she is the Secretary of State. That's right. That's not me, Julia.
I don't have any problems with you, Ms. Hermia. I just asked you to tell what you know about it.
That unofficial results are unofficial results election night. Results are coming in from all the precincts throughout the state election night. We give them the totals election night. There could be a mistake in entering the totals in our system that night. That's why they're unofficial. In fact, I don't have to give any unofficial results till when I say, because of this issue, I could wait till the next day. Have everybody rest up, we don't enter, but do you think the whole public would just be so going to say, oh, Torrance County didn't come in last night. They must have made a horrible mistake. They must have not done it right. So we try to get unofficial results the night of the election for the sake of the public. So they'll know it's unofficial.
On December 9th, and at the
On
beginning
December
of
9th,
January,
whose website is this?
Secretary of State.
Okay.
I didn't say that it was on your website, Ms. Hermia. I just asked
But you
you.
gave false information that it did not pass. It did pass.
That's what I knew at the time.
Well, please let me say that.
And we had a canvas, didn't we, commissioners? And we went over the results, and everything was up and everything was correct. Didn't we do that canvas? 3 days later, I prepare this canvas, and we go each minute little portion of the election. They certify it, and then I certify it to the Secretary of State.
okay? So I just want to say this on the record. I already told about that, and I went to at 10 o'clock to the fire station. Mr. Mayor, thank you for your explanation. At 10 o'clock to the fire station because I received one message from Agustina Sturchill informing me that the tax passed and the firefighters are very upset what I told them. I returned to the station hoping that there will be people there and I can explain what happened. I didn't have any plans to talk about this tax. I was said about this tax only when I was asked, and I said what I knew at the time. And I explained what happened. I apologize that it made confusion and upset firefighters at that time, but I want to make a point that I told myself where to look for that result. I said, please check. I didn't go there to provide firefighters with false information. It just doesn't make sense for me. If it is passed, why I would say it is not passed? That I just told what I knew at that time.
I just want to add to that, and I'm not attempting to be argumentative, but they did go check on the website after you left, and it did show that it had passed, and if you had looked prior to the meeting, you would have known also.
I didn't have any plans to talk about that tax.
The issue really is not so much about the misinformation, but it's accusing our leaders of lying.
No, I never said that. I never said that. I said the county manager and the fire administration advertised that tax, but it didn't pass. That's what I said. And I firmly believe, because I checked that website, the Secretary of State website, several times. That's what I knew at that time. I never said about lying. I didn't use that word at all.
Yes, you did. I said it.
Can we move on?
I didn't say that they were lying. No, I never used that word, sir. You are lying.
We need to move on. This is gone far enough.
Maybe this
It's-
lady wants to add
Actually,
something.
my name's Audrey Martinez. I'm a firefighter with District 3. I've been with the county 4 years now. I've never lived in the county, but I have given my all to the county. As far as the scrutiny, please come. We're there. Please come check my station. Please, I will show you anything. I will show you what we need and what we are lacking and what we try for and who we are. But not once have you come to District 3. How many times have you gone to 2? And how many times have you gone to District 5? Have you gone to Durant? Upcoming, we're going to be putting Willard as District 6. Have you gone to meet Faye, their fire chief? I don't know you. You claim to be a friend. We don't need a friend. We need a representative, a commissioner, that not only stands for us, but understands what we need. Knowing that what we do, all these people, knowing that all that we do, you have to know what is important to us. You cannot just show up not knowing what is important to us.
I just became a commissioner. It is only February, and I became a commissioner in January. I attended the first meeting, the annual meeting for one station. My next step will be at your station. Also, when Richard Graber made evaluation and held of fire department and held public meetings, who showed up at that meeting, that particular meeting, public meeting? My husband and I. And I could just sit home and watch TV. No, I spend my time and effort to meet and to know you guys, and said, I am your supporter, you can count on me. And now you organize this basically attack, Miss Cheryl, when I provide
Cheryl,
you,
ma'am. Chief Cheryl, please.
Miss Ham,
Chief Cheryl.
are you chief of
Yes,
what?
ma'am. That's my official title, ma'am.
Chief of,
I'm District Chief for Torrance County Fire Department, District 2 and 5.
I was informed that District 5 has another chief.
A battalion chief.
Okay, and I provide you with evidence, and it is still not enough for you.
Until the possible conflict is resolved, ma'am.
Could you please explain what conflict I have?
No, ma'am, I do not.
That's the person,
Not to
that's the
get
person,
into
no matter.
matters here. Let's put on the agenda a personnel action for the next meeting, and we can deal with that. We can't talk personnel actions in open session.
I'd like to know who the conflicts are.
And to take back firefighters, when I said, please come here and be recognized, and to deprive them from the public's recognition, I think it is just wrong.